Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about a topic that I've been wanting to discuss for a while and just kind of get my thoughts in one place. So in the background, we've got some gameplay from the main, which kind of will, springboard the first topic, which is the state of the game and how everything is. And you're probably wondering why I'm talking about that while playing Daryl. Well, of course, as I'm sure many of you know, Daryl got a much needed rework and has become an amazing brawler. I'd say definitely S tier, pretty much usable in every single game mode, which is just amazing. And it's pretty cool that such a small change can give a brawler, some new viability and just some love in the meta. And Daryl, out of any brawler, is extremely deserving of this, much like Frank. And that kind of brings me to my first point, which is that a lot of the brawler reworks they've done recently have been super great, and has just made it a lot more fun to play some underloved and undervalued brawlers. So, we're talking about Daryl, Frank. I'm sure there's some other that you're thinking of. Apparently, Penny's pretty decent in the meta right now after that range buff. So I think the balance changes that they've been doing have been really positive. Shout out Adrian for those. And I really have enjoyed a lot of the reworks and, just getting to revisit some brawlers who you never thought were going to be really viable. Like, who would have thought that Daryl would be S tier? Certainly not me. So that's kind of my first point about the state of the game. I'll talk about a couple other positives. I think some of the events that they've been putting on have been pretty beneficial, especially to try to help retain that new player base. As you all know, Brawl Stars has just grown tremendously within the last year and a half, I'd say, especially within the last year. So I think the events they've been doing have been really great, but I think now they need to be careful about the addition of permanent features versus these temporary events. And I know that was something that they just discussed in their podcast. So hopefully we'll see some more permanent features coming. It doesn't necessarily seem like that, but only time will tell. However, I think the events overall have been overwhelmingly positive. I wish there was a little bit more progression behind some of them. I think the SpongeBob event was a little bit better in that sense compared to some of the previous ones where you could actually buy hypercharges and legendary star drops. So that was definitely positive. I think it's definitely been one of the better events reward-wise recently. So I think that's super positive. But I think one overarching problem throughout the game is the coin economy. Speaking of hypercharges and legendary star drops, the coin economy is pretty horrific right now. I've been spending a lot of time playing on my mostly free-to-play mini account, and I've really noticed that I have to be super careful with what I'm spending my coins on, and it can kind of make it frustrating to play, especially when you unlock a new brawler as a free-to-play player. It's kind of difficult if you don't have resources saved up already to get them, up to a level that you can play them at. So I think it's super difficult. Getting star powers and gadgets changes how a lot of brawlers are played, and just add some really beneficial quality of life features to them and just make it more enjoyable. So by not having those, I think it's a little frustrating, especially when you're playing a new brawler, and especially for free-to-play players where it's a little bit difficult, or harder for them to, unlock star powers and buy stuff. So I think that's one area they need to improve on. I think the brawler level up, cost is ridiculous. Paying almost 3,000 coins for Power 11 is quite literally insane. And yeah, so I think if they rework that somehow, decrease the coin cost, or even just made it PowerPoint only, because there's just an abundance of PowerPoints and not nearly enough coins. So I think that's one change they definitely need to make. Now, another point I'd like to make that I've especially noticed as I've been playing on my mini is that I think for the most part, matchmaking is in a really good place, especially for new players. Now, on my mini, yes, for the most part, I am destroying, in my matches I'm playing because I'm playing at 4,000 trophies compared to 40,000 on my main. So the matches are a lot easier, and I'm often playing against people who, have under-leveled brawlers for the reasons I mentioned. But for the most part, the players apart from me in those games, I think the matchmaking is pretty fair for them. I think it provides them a good opportunity to, kind of get to know the game, learn, fundamentals, and grow and become better players. Additionally, I think ranked is in a really great state right now, and related to the ability to grow and become better at the game, as you see me helplessly sitting behind that sprout wall, is that the changes they made to ranked and the whole rework, I think really made it a lot more enjoyable of a mode. While I know a lot of people are complaining that sometimes it's not necessarily as competitive as Power League once was. I think that overall making it a little bit more accessible to everybody and providing a game mode that's a little bit more competitive. I see people complain a lot that it's not even more competitive than ladder, and I'd say in some aspects yes. But I think if you spend the time and are able to push up to higher ranks, legendary, especially into masters, I think you do have the ability to get some pretty solid games, as you can see myself lagging right there horrendously. But yeah, so I think ranked overall is overwhelmingly positive. The rewards are horrible. I swear to God, if I get 100 bling from another rank drop, I'm going to lose my mind. But that being said, I did just get some nice skins the other night. Got the new Maddie skin as well as the Jackie skin. So apart from the rewards, which are somewhat subpar, I think ranked is in a really good spot. I think modifiers are fun and they can shake up the meta a little bit. Some of them are a lot worse than others. But yeah. So to kind of wrap up my thoughts, I think Brawl Stars is in the best place it's ever been. I've really enjoyed the growth of the player base and all the new people that are coming and enjoying the game. And I hope that they continue to make some beneficial changes to keep these new players and keep the game in a good state. So thanks for tuning in.